We are live. Okay. We have a couple questions that we wrote down, just basic stuff. What is your full name?
Joseph Stephen Golixer.
How old? Oh, sorry. How old are you?
I am now 93,
Where did you grow up?
right here, West Alcoba.
How old were you when you joined the Army, I'm presuming?
I was drafted on month of September. As soon as I was 18, was June the 3rd, 19, well, whenever that was. And the whole thing is, I was drafted, and I was, on my birthday, I was already, when I signed up for the draft, I was already in the Army. They already had me drafted. My number was already up. So 21 days later, I went to Pittsburgh for a physical examination, and we were sworn into the Army. I come home in a couple more days. Alcoa was playing Ambridge. It was a Friday night. Alcoa was playing Ambridge, and it was raining like hell. And that's when the train pulled in, and all of us had to get on the train, and we went to Maryland. What's that? Fort Belford.
Basic training?
Yeah, no, we just went there. They got us in the Army. We got our uniforms. We ate. We pulled KP duty, guard duty. Then we went. Then from there on out, they found out what you were doing in your civilian life. I was working with National Electric. I was a cable repairman and running wire for the Army. We made a whole bunch of field wire and everything. So they put me in down for being a wireman, telephone field lineman. So they sent me to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for my basic. We got on they put us on a Pullman because every so often the trains was traveling from west to east, carrying tanks, Army trucks, and soldiers getting ready for the invasion of Normandy. And so when we finally got there, we had a Pullman. We had a sleeper. I was the top. I slept by myself on the top bunk. And we got to Fort Sill, and I went through basic training and learned how to be a telephone field lineman. I was always associating with electricity, wire. Communication was a big thing back in those days because you didn't have no cell phones like you got today. So the only way you can communicate when you're in the service is by telephone. I mean, yeah, with the wire. And even then, sometimes the Germans would sneak in and tap onto your wire, and they just didn't know what the instructions that was being said over. So after I got through the basic training, they was thinking about sending me over to Europe, but they had something else in their mind. They wanted me to go to cadre school. I went to cadre school. I learned how to be a non-commissioned officer. Excuse me. Three-ring Pittsburgh. Three Ring Pittsburgh.
Three Ring Pittsburgh.
That's one of them.
Tell him, Mark.
Yeah. So we taken. I learned how to march troops, how to go through basic training. In other words, I'll be a sergeant, a corporal or a sergeant, training more troops. They wanted me to be a teacher, you know, along that line. But I didn't care for Fort Sill. I didn't like being out around the deserts. That was a dangerous place anyway. So after they said the only reason I'm staying here in the States is because I didn't have special glasses for gas mask. Because everybody had to have a gas mask. So I said, well, what do I have to do to get special glasses to fit into the gas mask? And they told me, I said, well, let's get with it. I wanted to go overseas. When you're 18, you're full of piss and vinegar. You want to fight, you want to do everything all your other buddies are going to do. You want to fight we don't want them to fight over here, we want to fight over there. And so they finally fixed me up with the doctors that say, you know, to go ahead and give me them glasses. And they were some special wire. Each lens was on a special thing. We had to insert it into the gas mask. Once I got that, then it was a hop, skip, and a jump. And they sent me over to a camp outside of Boston for getting ready to go overseas. So I went there, and while I was there, we just more or less laid around. It was tar paper shacks, and we just was waiting, putting in time till the boat comes in. And the boat comes in, about 8,000 of us replacements. They had what you call replacements. The replacements got on the boat. We were all in each 200, 150, 200 to a section, like a battery or something, company. My company was, we were guards on the ship. The ship was USS Wakefield, and it carried about 8,000 people. And they had it was one of the ships that were going to travel across the ocean without an escort, without, you know, being in convoy, because the ship itself was too fast. They said it takes 3 minutes for a submarine to shoot torpedoes at it, which they did anyway. They tried to get us. They sent 2 torpedoes. This was on a Sunday. It took about 7 days to go across the ocean, traveling. Every 3 minutes they was changing course. In other words, zigzagging. And there was a special man on that ship, special men on that ship that had to take, and every time they changed course, he had to reset his meters, because the ship had degaussing cables. And that was to keep from anti-magnetic binds and everything from blowing up underneath you, and also They had to change that to goof up the submarines. So he had a poor guy. That's every 3 minutes, and then when he was done, they had another man to do his job. So we went across the ocean. It was on a Sunday. I was on guard duty. My post was B weather deck forward. That was the furthest up on the ship you can go. It was right up where you look right down, you can see the bow, cutting through the water. And when you're near land, while the porpoises be swimming around, and I looked up. I looked out towards the starboard side, and I seen 2 lines of bubbles coming at us. I said, "Oh my God!" Here we go, and they seen it up in the control room of the ship, and they swung the ship around, and we watched them bubbles go right past alongside of us. Boy, heart was pounding. That's when your butt thinks you're going to have diarrhea for crying out loud. And finally, we just kept zigzagging, and we didn't get no more trouble until we got to like off of Greenland or someplace. We had German 4-engine plane bomber come over. We put up big bunch of smoke and shooting up there. We had 56 guns on that board, on that boat. It was, like I say, the old luxury liner. And on the ship, one day I was watching the guys, the sailors, scrubbing the deck, They had to scrub the deck all the time. And I looked at one of the guys, and I said, "Holy smokes." I said, "He's from West Alacupa."
No kidding.
Milo Nish. Nish.
Was he a
His brother, one of his brothers was the mayor of Alacupa one time.
politician?
A long time ago,
Yeah.
was a politician. I see Milo, and we talked, but he wasn't allowed to talk too much with us because he was on duty.
Yep.
But we landed up in Liverpool, and from there, boy, it was cold.
Was it?
I mean, it was damp. It was in May, and it was like that cold, that dampness going right through you. You had to, when you went to bed, you had to have at least 2 blankets on you. And man, I spent there a couple of days in what they call the replacement depot. And I got one day, the sergeant called me out, and he says, "You're going to get on the board a boat. I mean, on a train." He says, "You're going to go to your outfit. You're transferred from here to the 997 Field Artillery Battalion." So I said, "Oh, okay." They give me I got all my baggage, my gun, everything. They give me the traveling orders. They give me the orders of transfer. I had to get on a train by myself, nobody else with me. I'm wondering what the hell's going on. So I traveled by train all the way to London. At London, I had to get off of one train and get on another train. Got to go from one station to another one. I went from Waterloo Station, and we nothing was in the States here. Everything is standard. Your trains are standard. The gauge and everything is standard. Over there, they had more trains. They had sometimes 2, 3 different um, bunches of trains, different trains coming in, and you had to go from one station to another. You had to carry every day. So I got on another train, and we went through we had to go through a town named Maidenhead. I thought, boy, that's a heck of a name of a town. But this was Europe. This was England. Then we went to I had to go to a town named Reading. I went to Reading, and from there I got off. I'm wondering, well, where next the camp at? You know, where's my outfit at? I asked the cop on the beat, he's walking around. He says, go to the, see the police station, provost marshal. So I went over, I had to carry everything I owned all the way through, get to the provost marshal. And he told me, he says, well, you have to go, he start using the telephone. And they finally found my outfit. I had to wait about a half an hour, and then a jeep came and picked me up, took me to the outfit. And they were living in tents. And we was getting ready to move out, so getting towards, because getting closer to D-Day. So I got to the outfit. I didn't have no food because I was traveling all day on the train. And all they gave me was a cheese sandwich and a cup of coffee.
Wow.
Because it was after, when I got to the outfit, it was after the mess was already over and it was getting late. So I had to go to when I got there, I had to go in front of the captain of the sea battery, and he tried to talk me into being a cook. I said, no, I'm always was with wire and telephones and radios. So he went and took and he gave me, he said, you can go be a wireman. And he sent me over to the wire section where they were sleeping. And there was nobody there to double, you know, you had to have 2 men to hook up their shoulder halves. You only had one half of the thing, and you had to have a buddy to make a tent. So there was nobody I could double up with. So I had to make a lean-to up against another guy's tent, and it would be raining. I'm uncomfortable as it is. I got through the night. We got ready and got to get all our equipment together. And what we did was we took all our equipment, all our trucks. We had to put hoses, waterproof hoses on the carburetor and exhaust. Because we were going to be hitting, we don't know whether we're going to be, in other words, the engine has to run underwater. So we had to waterproof everything. We had to waterproof all the spark plugs. Everything had to be waterproof so that if we're a little bit short of the landing place, that it would be, you have to have, in other words, that was the only way. And another thing we had to put on the ship, on each truck was a piece of angle iron on the front bumper. A piece of angle iron going up and another piece level to the top. And with some braces. That was a little bit of thought. The Germans, a lot of times on their roads, when the Americans would be coming, they'd take and put string piano wire across the road to decapitate, people that are driving a car, driving a vehicle, and you get that, you're going 45 mile an hour, and it's going to cut your head off if you hit that piano wire. So that was to cut the piano wire. That was, somebody thought about that. Well, we all had it. Glad we had it. And we finally got everything waterproof. Then we had to go down to towards the Southampton. We had to go towards where the landing crafts are going to be. We went there, and of course, with the heavy equipment we had, the towns in England, a lot of little towns, the streets are narrow. And a lot of the houses are real close to the, roadway. In other words, hardly any walking area at all. And you had to go, and we had these big M10 tractors pulling an 8-inch howitzer. And every time they made a bend, it'd swing around. Before you know it, we keep hitting the house. Before you know it, the house was moved about 4 or 5 feet off the foundation. So after we went through, they had to fix up the town.
Wow.
Because one of them, like I say, the streets were real narrow. We got down to the waters. We got on. We got put on the. We boarded a LST, and when we got on the LST, we was in the LST I was on was supposed to be a reserve part of our outfit. The main part of our outfit was on another LST. So we only had one gun and just 1 or 2 officers, and the rest of us was like replacements. So we was, and then we had some of the equipment. We had trucks. We went on our LST. I asked the sailor, I says, where is this ship made at? I says, they make a lot of these where not too far from where I live. He says, he told me, he says, well, he says, this was made in Ambridge.
American Bridge.
American Bridge Company. He says he spent 2 weeks in Ambridge, the sailors. They spent 2 weeks waiting for the ship to be finished, so they can take it down the river, down the Mississippi. And he knew where West Ellicott was. He knew where all this clowns were. He says, we had a good time for 2 weeks. He's,
West
waiting for the damn boat to be finished. So I took a look at that and I says, well, that's an omen.
That's good.
Maybe that's good. I don't know. I says, we went on, whenever we went out into the harbor, it was dark and it was always foggy. I didn't like England at all because it was foggy,
Yeah, dark.
damp. Even in June,
Yeah.
we got on the boat, we went out, and I never seen so many boats in my life. There was ships of all sizes, all kinds, and man, it must have been 5,000 ships out there. We were all waiting. Finally, we got the go-ahead to go with the beach. We didn't get to hit the beach until my boat didn't hit the beach until late in the afternoon. Thankfully, all that killing and everything was done in the morning and in the early part of the afternoon. Because Omaha Beach was a mess. Them Germans were just machine gunning all the guys as they was coming off the landing crafts, and it was terrible. You had that big 100-foot cliffs to climb. But by the time we got on the beach, they had taken the hill and pushed on into land. Further inland, we got to, when I got on it, we drove, after we got when we landed, we went through the water. The ship can only get a load so far, big doors. You want to close that door? It's air conditioner's on.
Oh, is it? It's on.
Huh?
It's on?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
on.
okay.
It's going to keep running.
Oh, I'll shut it. I didn't know.
Yeah,
A little bit warm in here. I'm okay.
and we went up. They had a road up alongside one cliff. We went up right up on top, and because we weren't the main part of our outfit, they didn't know what to do with us. They put us alongside a farm between two hedgerows. The hedgerows are about 15 feet high, 14, 15 feet high. And they put us between them so we can put camouflage nets over us, trying to keep the Germans from knowing that we're there. And while we were there, after we got up on that hill, and they hit us because we had to wait until the main part of the outfit to go, the captain and everything, they goofed. They didn't come in for about a week or so later. We hit the beach, and in other words, we were supposed to be out waiting to hit the beach when the main part was supposed to hit the beach, so they goofed. They had to hide us. While we were being hidden, we had to take all that waterproofing material off of the vehicles. We had to take the stacks off, so we can go. And another thing we did was break the. They had governors on the. When they first made them trucks, they had governors on, so you can only go 45 miles an hour.
Oh, really?
But when you're in combat, you're going to have to go like hell. Especially if the Germans got the roads zeroed in. Well, which they tried to get us all the time.
It come close, huh, Joe? For you?
Oh my God. Yeah, we got